What is going on, guys? The Inside the Blue podcast, and today it's game day. It's Yankees game day. Opening day is here. We have waited so long to see the Yankees in action in real play, not spring training. And how about their first matchup against the Houston Astros? Houston Astros, Yankees are heading to Houston. It's going to be a battle, man. Like, we know how much this rivalry has really amped up. I think this has been a rivalry ever since these playoff series has really taken another stage. All the hatred towards Altuve, all the everything, just everything is really amped up. And now to see these two teams battle on opening day, it's amazing. I think it's amazing that these are the two teams that are taking on each other. They have a huge history now with, like I said earlier, with all the playoff series and problems, right? The scandals and all of that. But now that we're in the past, that's all in the past. It's a new season. The Yankees have some new players. The Astros have some new players. Of course, some of the big names that the Astros have. They have Jose Abreu. They have newly acquired free agent Josh Hader. Josh Hader used to play for the Astros back in his early days. Heads back there on a nice deal. Yankees go out and get Juan Soto, get the big name, probably the biggest name on the market in terms of trade. They get Alex Verdugo, and I really think that this is a winnable series for the New York Yankees. I look at the Astros team, I look at the Yankees team. Both are very, very talented offensive teams. There's going to be a lot of runs, and I think it's really going to come down to the bullpen and the pitching for the New York Yankees. If Nestor Cortez, who gets the ball today, doesn't have his stuff and gets into early jams, it's going to be a very long game, especially that this team plays against the Astros again tomorrow. So you don't want to have a huge bullpen game and use a lot of arms, and you want to see if Nestor can go at least 5 innings. And I think that's a huge thing. If Nestor Cortez can go long in this game, get sufficient innings, and wear down this Astros offense, because we know if this Astros offense gets hot early on in this game, it's gonna be very troublesome to get back into this game. Framber Valdez's pitching, of course, really solid pitcher for them, and like I said, pitching is gonna be huge. We know how good this team is that they're playing, and am I nervous? Not at all. If anybody was wondering if I'm nervous, not at all. I think this team has all the tools to beat the Astros. But we all know when they go into Houston, the biggest thing is their hitting. We know that some of these guys tend to struggle in Houston. It's very loud in that building, and you gotta score runs early. You gotta really set the tone for the game. You can't wait till the 5th, 6th, 7th inning like last year. That's not going to fly against the Houston Astros. They will bury you, and they'll beat you down. Like, they have really good players. Of course, we all know Jose Altuve, the Alex Bregmans, the Kyle Tuckers, the Yordan Alvarez. All of those guys are the big names to watch. But I just think this is a series that really could put the Yankees on a good start, right? If they are able to win this series, defeat a really good AL team, probably the AL West favorite still. I still think it's really going to come down to them and the Texas Rangers. But I think it's going to be a good series. I think a lot of things depend on how this offense comes out, how Aaron Judge starts out, how Juan Soto, how Giancarlo Stanton, and even guys like the younger guys, like Volpe and Verdugo. Everybody needs to contribute today. It's not going to be a one-man show. It can't be just the Juan Soto and Aaron Judge show. We know that they're going to have solid days and a solid series, but I really do like the lineup Aaron Boone created today, having Gleyber Torres lead off. It's a lefty pitcher, and I think the Yankees tend to do pretty good against lefty pitchers. We know with Stanton's track record against lefty pitchers, he's very solid. Gleyber Torres, and like Alex Verdugo. So I think this is a perfect matchup for the Yankees to start out their season, because they're taking on a lefty who's very good very good fastball, very good pitch mix, and like I said, score runs early and often and get the train going. Get the fans out of the game, right? You really don't want that team to have their fans behind them and cheering on. You want them to be dead silent. You want it to be a dead silent stadium, and the only somewhat noise you're hearing is from some of the Yankee fans that are going to be there, because we know it's going to be a packed house. It's probably going to be sold out because this series, Astros and Yankees, the rivalry has really spiced up. I really think this rivalry, you can argue, might be bigger than Boston and New York, honestly. I think in the recent years, not back in the day. Back in the day, you could totally say, of course, Boston and Yankees, they hate each other, they don't like each other. But now I feel like it's really trending towards the New York Yankees and the Houston Astros. I know back in the day, the 2017 scandals, the 2019, all of these series that the Yankees have lost to them. They're trying to figure out a way to have a better team. They, of course, get Juan Soto. They get more lefties. And I think more lefties is going to be much better for this team. Of course, we know the short porch in left field for the Houston Astros stadium. They're not big walls, right? I think it's a hitter's ballpark. When I look at the dimensions of the field, very much so you could see home run after home run if you want, if they really pull it good enough, or even in left field. If a guy like Soto decides to go to left field, there's a good chance he's going to hit a home run. It's not very pitcher friendly, in my opinion. A fly ball could travel and go out of the stadium, and you'll score runs. I think that's really what it comes down to, is scoring runs consistently and getting the bats hot early. Last year, they relied on their pitching a little too much, and they couldn't score runs. This year, I think that changes. I think this team gets better at putting the ball in play. They have a solid roster. When healthy, a very solid roster. It's really going to depend on a lot of guys to have bounce-back seasons. We don't know how Giancarlo Stanton's going to be this year. Of course, he had an amazing spring training, but we need that to translate to the real game, and that's the regular season. If Stanton could be great in the regular season, honestly, if he bats like 240, 250, slightly league average, I think you're going to get a solid season out of Big G. He trimmed his weight down. He lost weight. He really wants to get better, and he's a motivated player. He knows how bad he's been in New York and the tenure he's had. It hasn't been good in these recent years. A lot of strikeouts, a very low batting average. He batted under 200 last season. He's hoping for a bounce back, and he's changing some things with his swing. And it seems like it's helped out in spring training ball. I know spring training isn't, some big thing. I mean, we saw Kyle Higashioka last year tear up the spring training and then had kind of an okay season. But with Stanton, I think his change to his approach is going to be more beneficial. And he's also hitting right after Aaron Judge today. So hopefully they can get on early against Valdez, because we know how good this Astro team is. It's no joke. This team is no joke. They've made it to the World Series multiple years in a row. They've made it to the ALCS multiple times. It seems like no one really has an answer for this Houston team. Of course, the Texas Rangers being the team to make it to the World Series over the Houston Astros. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's the first time since 2017 or some stat like that we haven't seen the Dodgers or Houston Astros in the finals. So to see the Texas Rangers do that is huge. Now we need to see the New York Yankees. We got to see this team fight to the death and play well. I think Aaron Boone is the right manager for this team. I don't think they're going to move on from him. I think Cashman has given them some tools to work with finally. I think this is a team that you could put anybody in the lineup, whether it's Verdugo leading off, Rizzo, anybody. It doesn't even have to be Anthony Rizzo leading off. It could be Glaber. I don't really think we're going to see Anthony Volpe lead off very much this year unless Glaber Torres goes down or some sort of thing. But fighting against injuries, too, is a big thing with this Yankee squad. We know how much injuries tend to hurt this team and put them in major setbacks. But I think with the New York Yankees, to win this game today is just put the ball in play and get on. If you can get on, it really puts pressure on Valdez. And when you have Soto and Judge going back to back, you got to pitch very, very carefully. And I think that's going to be a big thing for this squad is, are the Yankees going to draw a lot of walks in this game and in this season? Because if they can, that's huge. Base runners are huge. And another thing is driving them in, though. There's been times where you could allow a ton of hits and have 17 runners on base, but you leave 15 on base and you only score 2 runs. So, I mean, scoring runs consistently and getting to Valdez early, because if you can get to their pen early, perfect with me. Please. And with Nestor, we need him to go at least 5 innings. I mean, that's one of the big things I have here on my notes, is Cortez needs to go in there and dominate. We know they have some big-time lefties, Tucker and Yordan Alvarez, guys that can hit 20-plus home runs a year. And, of course, their lefty, their righties, of course, Alex Bregman, Jose Altuve, guys that know how to hit in this league and do a good job of it, even though they were accused of cheating scandals, and they did cheat. But they're still very talented baseball players regardless, and this is not me sucking up to the Astros, because that's the last thing I do. The last thing I want to do is talk positive about this Houston Astros team. I don't like doing it at all, but you have to accept who you're playing against. You're playing against one of the best teams in the AL. That's just how it is. And I'm firmly confident this team can beat them. I really do think they can go into Minute Maid Park and kick the crap out of this Astros squad. I have no doubt in my mind that we can get monster games from Aaron Judge, monster games from Juan Soto, monster games from the Rizzo, and, of course, Anthony Volpe. Anthony Volpe looked great in spring training. Let's see how it translates to the regular season. And that's with a lot of guys. You know, Marcus Stroman had a good spring training. Carlos Rodon was solid in the spring training. Nestor was good enough. I think the thing with Nestor is he's just going to have to really get funky with it on the mound and pitch well. That's all he has to do. And that's nothing easy to ask. Of course, he's going to be taking on the lineup multiple times in a row, and that's what I do get concerned of with Nestor Cortez, is when he gets to maybe that third, fourth time around the order, that's where things kind of get a little iffy off his game. I think, you know, the first 3 innings could be really solid. He could be really dominating. And then some minor thing happens, whether it's an error or base hit, a double. I think if Nestor can just stay engaged and stay locked in, he could have a really solid outing today against Houston. And I think that's the main thing that I see out of Nestor. He's got a solid pitch mix. He's not a guy that's going to blow you by with 95 plus. He's more of a guy that has funky stuff, and he's going to really beat you off his off speed, his sliders, his funky windup, and all that. That's what's going to get to these pitchers. Of course, Jose Trevino behind the plate today, one of the best at calling games. Last season, of course, he had an injury that set him out. He's back, Platinum Glove winner. It would be silly for the Astros to try and run on Trevino. And I think defense is going to be a big part in this game, too, is if you can play good defense, minimize your errors and mistakes, you're golden. Because when you start letting up runners in scoring position, it really can change a game quickly. And of course, we know they're fans. They're going to be obnoxious and loud. You're going to have to accept it. You're on the road. And it makes these road wins bigger when you can get a win on the road against your rival. It's going to be fun, man. I'm really excited. I hope all you Yankee fans are excited. It's going to be a freaking battle, man. And I'm so stoked. So stoked to share this game. I'm really hoping to really get onto games and go live for you guys and show you my live reactions of what happens, whether the Yankees win the game or they get killed. You're going to see my live reactions. I'm not sure about this game tonight. I will have some stuff to do, but other than that, really hoping to get a lot of games in, a lot of live streams. Hopefully you guys tune into them. But it's going to be a battle. Of course, Nestor against Valdez, the Soto effect, the Soto era, Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, Rizzo, Volpe, all the guys set to take on the Astros today. And of course, wouldn't be a day without telling you what I think is going to happen in terms of betting. Don't encourage it, but if I had to make 3 picks today, my 3 picks of the day. Number 1, a Giancarlo Stanton home run. Starting off the year with the home run, the Yankees are 7-0 since 2012 when they hit a home run in the first inning. I'm expecting a home run in the first inning for the New York Yankees, and it's going to be Giancarlo Stanton. I also have Gleyber Torres getting a base hit today, at least one, and also Anthony Volpe to touch base at least one time. Those are my 3 bets, of course. No sponsor or anything, just telling you what I think could happen. And yeah, that's really all I got for game number 1 of 162. That's going to do it for this podcast, of course. Let's go Yankees. Let's beat the Astros. And of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe button on the road to 100 subscribers. Hit that like button and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload these podcasts. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it. Game 1, Houston Astros taking on the New York Yankees. Let's go Yanks. Yeah. Peace.